What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys. And you might hear some noise in the background here in a second. My family coming in. I just got off work myself. And so I wanted to do today's video. So if you hear them in the background, please forgive me ahead of time because they don't know I'm recording, but they will when they come in. Anyway, today I would like to discuss, and the dog. Can't forget the dog. Gosh, y'all. Gotta find a quieter place to record. But anyway, y'all know I keep it real. And I don't know edit. I just keep it raw, real, uncut. So today I want to talk, got a good video idea by a question that was asked. Somebody asked me to do a video about what I would like or what I'm most concerned about with the game going forward or things that I'm concerned with the game. So, you know, I would have to say, like, right now, my biggest concerns with the game, and let's get some gameplay going in the background. How about Piccolo now? We watched the other one last time. So my concerns with the game, I have to start with what we talked about last time, you know, with the boss fights. Are the boss fights going to be repetitive? Are they going to be a pattern of things? Or are they going to be something that is completely random? That's a huge deal, because if the boss fights are programmed, then you know that this is going to happen at this particular time. Now, with me, that's not a super big issue because I'm a Destiny 2 player. I play Destiny a lot. And in those raid boss fights, they're all set to do a certain thing at a certain time. So it's easy to get over that. You get what I'm saying? So that's not a problem for me, but I can see it being a problem with other people. And then another concern, and I think it's probably, and I'm not going in order here, guys, but this to me would probably be the biggest concern for any RPG game / semi-open world game, whatever, games that are set up in this way, and that is repetitiveness. You know, there's going to be a lot of quests in this game. Of course, we know that. Now, the big question is, how repetitive is it going to be? Because we know there's going to be some repetitiveness in it. We know it's going to be a grind to level up. Xenoverse 2 became very boring to me really quick because the grind to level up was so tough. But in retrospect of that, and opposite of that, it was difficult to really enjoy it because it wasn't that much fresh content to give you XP. You had to keep doing parallel quests all the time and stuff like that. You know, then I look at a game like The Witcher 3 or Assassin's Creed Odyssey or, you know, one of the new Assassin's Creeds, and leveling up doesn't feel like a grind because when you're leveling up, there's so much different stuff to do. There's so many different areas to explore that by the time you get to a high level, it doesn't feel like much of a grind. It doesn't feel so repetitive. And that's huge because if the grind is repetitive, it'll get old. Destiny is another game that I use for an example because you're doing the same stuff over and over in Destiny. Now, early on, they didn't do a very good job and the grind was unreal and it was very boring, very fast. Now there's so much stuff to do in the game that there's so many different things to do to level up that it doesn't feel. It still feels like a grind, but it's not a repetitive grind. So that's something that we have to keep in mind as well. Now, like I said, that's probably the biggest thing. If you had to ask me what was the biggest thing, that's probably the biggest concern that I have is that. Now, another concern, something that I am concerned with is not so much for myself, but others, is the combat. And not how the combat is in the game, but how people are going to perceive it. People's perception of the combat. Because people seem to not realize that this isn't a fighting game. This is not Budokai Tenkaichi. It's not Budokai. It isn't Dragon Ball Fighters. And it isn't Dragon Ball Xenoverse. This is an RPG. The combat isn't meant to be extensive and in-depth because in RPGs, you're playing a role. And in RPGs, their job, whoever the developer is in an RPG, is to get you immersed in a role. And if you have to worry about combat, then you're not going to be immersed in that role that much. So that's something to seriously consider. Now, guys need to know that going in. So don't compare this game to Dragon Ball FighterZ. The fighting system isn't going to be like that. Hopefully these people that are doing these reviews understand that too and not give the game a bad review saying, well, the combat was very simple. The combat wasn't as complex as Dragon Ball FighterZ. Because it's not freaking Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's an action RPG. It's not supposed to be extensive. Even with that being said, the combat system is still more complex than some RPGs. And as you progress in the game, level up, get different attacks and things of that nature, you are going to get a more complicated combat system. It's still not going to be to the level of Dragon Ball FighterZ at all. So don't even go in expecting that, guys, because it's not that kind of game. Now, another concern that I have is training. How will training be implemented in the game? Is training going to be something that, is just kind of brushed to the side, or is training going to be something that's serious? They put a huge emphasis on eating and eating and eating and eating and eating and how that levels you up. And in a game like Dragon Ball Z, in a series of anime and manga such as Dragon Ball Z, training, I've talked about this in many videos, training has been super influential in the series. I mean, you look at the beginning, they trained after the fight with Raditz to prepare for Vegeta and them. They trained, Goku's training on the way to Namek after he died with King Kai was monumental. And then you look at after that, they trained to fight the androids. They trained the hyperbolic time chamber to fight Cell. And if you bleed over into that, they trained again to fight Majin Buu. Goku training in the other world. Vegeta always training. And that was one of the qualms, the quirks is, oh, you guys are always training. You're always training. You're always training, Even in the Dragon Ball Super, training. Training is prominent, more prominent than eating. So I'm really hoping that the reason they haven't talked about it is because training is a big deal in this game as well. If it's not, I am going to be really let down because I feel like it should be, because it's so monumental in the anime. Now, they are playing things extremely close to the point that they even have the driving mission in the game. So I would find it difficult to believe that they would get into the game and not have training be a prominent part of the game. You get what I'm saying? So, guys, and then also there's just things that we don't know about yet, such as how the vendors work, research and development. We know about the skill tree. We know about leveling up attacks. I'm pretty happy with that. From what I've seen, I don't see that being any kind of concern to me right now. I don't think there'll be any microtransactions in the game and stuff like that. I am interested to see how the Dragon Balls work, so I can't really speak on that. Also, like the Z Orbs, I think the Z Orbs they're used to level up your character, but I think they're going to be used to level up like your super attacks, your skill trees, and stuff like that. Currency is in the game, so I'm wondering how that's going to work as well. But other than that, my other concern I would have to say is not my biggest, but other than that would have to be how much are the side quests explored upon. Are there going to be cutscenes for them, or is it just going to be commentary kind of thing? If they play out these special missions, like in these new characters these original characters that they're adding, how much detail are they going to put into these characters and their stories? Are they going to try to tie it in with the regular story? These are things that I have questions about with this game. It's not so much a concern yet because we don't know much detail on it. But hopefully we get some more detail on it and we can talk about that and see. Also with the boss battles, and I'll end with this because this is probably the last thing that I can think of right now, is I noticed there's a lot of cinematic cutscenes that are phenomenal. But I'm wondering, are they going to implement quick time events that are going to get us immersed in that as well? I really hope that they do. We hadn't seen it in the demo and stuff like that, and that's fine. But I really hope that they implement quick time events just to keep us active in that. You get what I'm saying? So let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. What are y'all most concerned with the game? And like I said, these are concerns that I have, but I'm still super hyped for the game. I'm still going to get the game. I'm still going to enjoy the game. It's not going to keep me from getting the game. These are just things that I feel like if they get this, it'll be, in my opinion, a perfect game, which they say no game is perfect, but that's up to the people. I've played some games that I feel like are perfect. But let me know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Appreciate y'all for watching. Till next time. Peace.